Hello Tab Nation, it's Tom, and today we're going to be doing another macro recorder. So I've done some videos in the past with Power Automate Desktop, using the AutoHotkey version, which is Pullover's macro recorder. Today we're just going to be kind of using one that's really just simply called macro recorder. It's currently in version 2 at the filming of this. The great thing about this, as you can see right here, it works for both Windows and Mac. So I know a lot of people would like to do a lot of the stuff I show you in these videos, but on a Mac. I've never really touched base on that, mostly because I don't have a Mac, and so haven't really been able to do a good demo on that kind of stuff. But this one, what I show you now, will work on a Mac, so hopefully that helps a lot of people out. This program is super simple. It doesn't quite do what Pullover's macro recreator can do, but it's pretty simple for very basic stuff, mouse moves, typing, clicking, that kind of stuff. So yeah, free download, Windows, Mac. I'll put the link to this website in the description below, and let's take a look at that. So here's a little icon here, a little red circle with a lightning bolt in it for some reason, I guess for speed, I don't know. And here's the program. As you see, it's super simple, very beautiful, easy GUI to understand. You know, Pullover's macro recorder, it does a lot, but it can be a little overwhelming sometimes for new people. So yeah, let's walk through some of the basic stuff here as an intro to this. If you guys want me to go more in depth on something maybe I don't cover in here, more advanced, if it's possible with this program, definitely let me know what your goal is in the comments below, and I might do a part 2 to this, going a little bit deeper. So the first thing we got here is the play. That's just going to run your script. Obviously we don't have anything, so it's grayed out, so nothing works. Now we can do something simple like record. So let me show you why record is good and bad. So record's good because it's fast, and I can just push record. I can go down here, push my start menu, I can open up Paint, and then I can write my name very poorly, and I can change the color, make some zigzags there, jump back, and we're done. Boom, there's my script. But you see how much stuff I just did there? I really didn't do much. I did a few clicks, and so look how long my script is. That's because it's capturing everything you do, every mouse move you make. You know, I'm moving here to the right, but then I move a little bit down and keep going right. It's going to record 3 steps there. So, you know, depending how much you're trying to automate, this script can get super long, which if you ever want to edit it, you're going to sit here and be like, oh boy, what is this doing right here? You know, and so it can be like a lot. You know, it does kind of show you, which is really cool, like little pop-ups there that kind of give you a basic understanding, but it's still not a lot to really understand. But yeah, let's go ahead and push play. Let me close out of Paint here. And we'll push play. I'm going to put my hands up in the air. I just don't care. And you see, it's literally copying every single thing I just did. So it's amazing because record it's so easy. But it captures way too much stuff. And that's kind of what I've talked about in my pullovers thing, is it kind of captures a little too much. So there you go. Just did all that. So yeah, let's start over. No, we do not want to save. So if you want to do stuff more manually, which I recommend doing eventually, if you have the time to do it and want to put the effort into, you know, just a much cleaner looking script, definitely do that. So we have a few little options here. You can click here, but there's a drop down right here with a little arrow, and that's going to give you a little bit more flexibility with exactly what is a mouse doing. So you can do a smart click, a move, or a wheel. So we did see the click and we saw the move. That's just moving your mouse and clicking wherever I told it to. And then wheel is obviously just scrolling up or down. So my favorite is the smart click. So let me open Notepad. We'll do Notepad this time. So smart click, we're going to click that. We're going to get this little pop-up. You can see right here it says not defined. It's because it's looking for something. So I'm going to hover my mouse over and click. And you see it copied that picture, that icon of Notepad. That's what I want. And that's kind of like, if you watch my other videos, it's kind of almost like a if when exist, like if a window exists. So I'm looking for that specific icon, and it's going to click right there. And I can choose how it's going to click. It's going to click with the left key. You can click with different ones, X1, which are like gaming things, middle, right. And you can double click also too if you want. Color tolerance, that would be for if I had this icon, but for some reason, sometimes I open this program, maybe the blue on here is a little bit darker for some odd reason. I can give it a little bit leeway. You know, this is really going to be used more in video games where, you know, maybe the sun is moving across the game. So this item's blue, but based on where the sun is, depends how dark of a blue it is. So you might have to add some color, you know, tolerance to it to really get what you need and have a little bit more flexibility. But I only really ever see that being used in like video games, which I know a lot of you guys are here for. So welcome. Hit that subscribe button. Throwing lots of videos at you every week. Now we can have a wait time. It's going to be in milliseconds. What's it going to do? It's just going to go to the next action. You can do a few things here. You can make it start an action or end something that might have already been going on. But we're just doing a step-by-step here. So we're good. This looks fine. Search area, focus window, or entire desktop. I'm going to go ahead and switch to entire desktop. Focus window is going to be faster though, because it's only searching a small portion of the screen versus your entire screen. I'm going to use the entire desktop just to show that it is still pretty fast. So there we go. We got our first step. And value, it got a little bit of an icon there. If I want to edit, I can always open it again, make any changes I want by double clicking on it. You can put a comment in there too if you want. So I could be like, this looks for Notepad. Just in case I want to remember exactly what this step is doing, I can put that there. We can adjust the columns too so we can see everything a little better. So the first thing it's going to do, it's going to click on here. And now I want to, let's type something. So we got this text and key box here. We're going to use the drop down so I can show you all that stuff. We have a key press. We have a hotkey. So key press is like a single key. Press A, press F1. A hotkey, if you watched my auto hotkey videos, you'll understand what that is. That's basically saying like, okay, now wait for me to push F1 and then do stuff. And then text output. We're going to use text output. That's when you basically are using a string. So we're going to say, hello world. Something simple. This is kind of like a hello world video, right? When it finds it, we're going to, well, actually here, let's do this. So like I said, you can double click and edit. We're just going to do hello. We're then going to use a wait. So we can do a normal wait, which is like a sleep. If in auto hotkeys, wait for a pixel color. You know, maybe you're waiting for a red box to pop up to continue the rest of the actions you want to perform. Wait for a hotkey press. You know, wait for me to press F1 like I just said. Wait for text input. Wait for something to start being typed specifically. Or wait for a file to show up. We're just going to do a simple wait. That's probably what most of you are. Once again, it's in milliseconds. We're going to do 5,000. Which equals 5 seconds, because there's 1,000 milliseconds in a second. We're going to throw that in there. And then, let's see, we got detect image. Now, in detect image, there's two things we're doing here. We can detect an image, which let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to push that little button there. I'm going to get this little crosshair thing here. So let's see, let's detect their logo. There we go. So we're basically saying, does this logo exist? And this is what I press. I kind of press that a little fast. And you're just using the left mouse to drag the area you want to scan for your picture. Or if that. So we can do the focus window. Once again, I'm just going to use the entire desktop. Now let's restrict the area. This is good because once again, this is going to speed up the image search. You know, it's only going to be searching in this one place versus the whole screen. So if you care about speed, like down to like the seconds, you might want to do this. So we're going to define search area. The nice thing is it always minimizes for you. We're going to search this whole area right here, which you can only see part of what I highlighted, but it's there. Once again, color tolerance, you're really only going to be using that in video games. You know, I've seen people use this, and usually you don't need to really go above the number 5. After that, you might start getting like false hits. So just play around with that. There's really nothing I can tell you about that. It's more of just playing around until you find something that works for you. So if the image has been found, what do we want to do? We're going to change the mouse position, and we're going to center it over this image. So it should move to like right there in the middle, like right below the lightning bolt corner. What are we going to do? Well, we're just going to keep going on with the script. We're going to go to next. Same thing as I showed you before. Start in next. You know, any seconds or how long you want it to wait before it moves on to the next one. Or you can use a wait like I did. Using it in here is going to be a little bit cleaner though. You can also, if you already have the image, you can load it, bitmap from a file. You can do that. You can also push clear if you want to try again. Maybe I want to actually have it more focused on the logo, you know, since I have some of this black space here. But we're being lazy. It's kind of the whole point of macro recorders, right? OCR. I've done a video on that explaining exactly what's going on. Definitely check that out if you want more details. But that's just really searching for text. So, you know, we're looking for the text, hello world. You know, you can change it. Right now it supports English, German, OSD, I'm not sure what that is, and I'm guessing RUS is Russian. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Once again, we can restrict the area. We're just going to be looking right here at the beginning of this document. We're good there. And then we'll just move the mouse again. Why not? Do that. And we're going to push OK. Now, let's say, I did this on purpose. Up here is hello, but down here it's searching for hello world. It's never going to find it because hello world will not appear. So what I'm going to do is, do I have a space here? I do not have a space there. I'm going to go ahead and add another text output. We're going to do space world. Now, as you see, it just appeared here, but I wanted to go after the weight. You can just drag and drop stuff. It's kind of weird to aim. There we go. You might have to do it once or twice. So I did that on purpose just so I could show you how to add something when you're already like at a certain point and you put it in the wrong spot. So yeah, you can just drag and drop, and it'll drop to whatever it's highlighting currently to the one below it. So we're going to search for mouse or hello world. It's going to move my mouse there. One thing else, I'm not really going to show you guys this at the moment because these are pretty self-explanatory. But we got repeat, which is basically a loop. And that's basically going to say, keep doing this over and over again. You can say how many times you want it to do, how often you want it to do, you know, and then you can add like a hotkey that turns it off or something like that. You got go to, that's kind of like a parameter thing. If the image search fails, go do this stuff instead. Execute a program, that's just going to run a program. So that's just going to launch Notepad or whatever it is that I want to launch. You can add parameters, which I don't think many people are going to be doing. Focus window, that's just, you know, for example, Notepad's not in focus. That would just be saying, hey, you know, focus on this program, this application. And the cool thing is you can just push the crosshairs and click, and it's going to auto grab that executable name and what the window title is, you know, some background information. You can deactivate, change some of these. And that's just going to say, make sure that window's in focus before I type. I'm not going to add that because I'm going to make sure it is in focus. Which, the last thing I want to show you is, let's say you want to use something again. You don't want to feel like filling out all the information out. You can just push copy. And I can go up here and I can say paste. And then I want that first. There we go. And the reason I'm putting this here is because I do want a second just so I can click on Notepad and make sure it is in focus. I could, like I said, do focus window. Randomize parameters, that's just like numbers. You know, you could say like 1, -24 through 14. Something that's really interesting, I kind of find annoying about this, is when you click in here in the text field and start dragging your mouse left or right, it actually starts counting for you. That's kind of messed me up a few times. I personally like to just manually type in those numbers versus trying to like let me get to 1. Oh, come on. See, that to me is kind of annoying. You can still type. It's just sometimes when you're in there, you might accidentally swipe your mouse before you let go. And what do you want it to do? You know, do you want it to be a timeout delay? Do you want to change the coordinates of something? Maybe you're doing some type of mouse move and you want it to this time go this way, this time go that way, stuff like that. Yeah. And then what else do we got here? Increment parameters, basically same thing. Set parameters from a list, same thing, but you can choose the actual values versus in between numbers. You know, maybe you're doing odds. You know, you can put all the odd numbers in here and say pick from that, or file like a text file if you have one, like preload it versus typing it in here. So yeah, let's go ahead and watch this in action. So I'm going to go ahead and push play. I got 5 seconds to make sure this is in focus. Obviously, I said you could just replace that weight with an actual focus thing, but I'm being lazy. All right. Well, I do guess I have that mouse left click there, so that actually would be kind of like a focus in a way. Now the cool thing is, for some reason it failed there. I just pushed F1 again. You can see what's doing right there. There it goes. I don't know why it failed the first time. That was kind of weird. And there we go. It went through, did the weights, did the times, hello world. Let me do a new line. And like, as you see in the background here, you can actually see where it's saying, wait 1 second. Boom, it's going to move here. It's going to move there. It's going to do all this stuff. So we can go ahead and push stop. A few things I want to quickly point out is kind of your settings here. These are things that you need to probably do. Where is that? Here we are. Settings. So under the help tab, you're going to go to settings, and there's a few changes you're going to want to make. The first one is going to be playback. I mean, obviously it's up to you what ones you want to do, but it's probably a good idea to use relative mouse positions. Play with that, see which way works better, checked or unchecked. That's going to be a little bit more accurate, at least for me it is. And the other thing is hotkeys. This is definitely going to be the big one that you're all going to want to use is playback. So I just have F1 as my playback. The reason why that is that you want to have some sort of hotkey there is because if I'm under here, under record and action, and I push play, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to push play. It's doing that countdown, but then I clicked on another window and it automatically stopped it. So there's a few settings you can play along with to make it so that doesn't happen. You can block keyboard input. You can block mouse input. But by default, if I push a key or a mouse click in the middle of my script running, it looks at it as a, oh, I should stop. He wants to do something else. To me, that's kind of annoying. I don't like that, you know, because if I accidentally do push a click or something, or I want to quickly switch to a window to make it start doing it in that window automatically, that's something you might want to get rid of. Now, there are different versions of this. The free version can do some pretty basic stuff, as you saw there. And if you go here, click register, it'll ask for a code. You can go to purchase license. And they got 3 levels here besides the free version. It kind of tells you exactly what it's going to do. You know, you got your standard version. You can have more than 10 reputations, basically loops. You're going to be able to execute programs, go to repeat, which we can do some of these things, but some of them just aren't going to work unless you got the paid versions. You know, especially like OCR. That's one people are really going to like. They're going to want the professional one. So like standard, it is $50. If you can use Pullover's macro recorder, I definitely recommend it. But if you need something that's just super easy, super clean, compared to Pullover, even though Pullover is amazing, this one's going to be definitely a very intro-based macro recorder compared to Pullover's, because it's just so much easier and whatnot. There are a few other settings you can play with. Like I was saying, this, when I move my mouse, move it here, move it there, it's going to capture a lot. There's a few settings in there that you can tweak to help kind of prevent some of that from happening. But a lot of times it is still going to capture a lot of those mouse movements. So I definitely recommend manually doing this. if you have any interest in expanding on this kind of automation stuff and being able to do even more fancy stuff than I just showed you here, opening Chrome, you can use this to open Chrome, go to a website, that kind of stuff. Definitely look at my AutoHotkey videos and maybe start learning some of the basics on how to code this stuff right here. And that way you won't have to pay for any license if you want to do some of the, more fancy stuff like OCR, or having more than 10 loops, that kind of thing. If you guys have any questions on this video, definitely let me know in the comments below, and I hopefully can help you all. And let me know if you've used this, or if there's any other macro recorders out there that you guys like besides the what have I done so far. So obviously this one, Pullover's macro recorder, and I did Power Automate Desktop and Power Toys. So any outside of those, let me know what you use, and maybe I'll do a video on them if I find them pretty useful or think you guys would. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.